huge news is JD's lawyer is suing Warner Brothers as part of a massive lawsuit against the music industry. And guess who's decided to fight on the side of Warner Brothers this time? That's right, Team AH. Amazing, huh? It's amazing to see the hypocrisy in this too. From Warner Brothers, from Team AH, and so many others. You and I, we're going to talk about that today too. Make no mistake, this is a huge problem for Warner Brothers too, because it may bring out everything that has ever happened behind the scenes. Oh man, crazy times, huh? Crazy times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. So Warner Brothers, they talked a big game back with JD versus AH. Maybe there was a reason for that, and this lawsuit by JD's lawyers, that might actually reveal quite a bit about what they were trying to hide. Now, everything here is allegation, mind you, but Warner in the past has actually admitted to wrongdoing. In fact, someone that they settled with, they said this about, quote, they take matters very seriously. They were grateful to their former employee for her courage in raising concerns in 2017. And at that time, they actually had to bring in third-party investigators. They did thorough investigations of what was alleged, and that led to the termination of one senior label executive, disciplinary measures for another label executive, and essentially rewriting the book of code of conduct for everything that they were doing behind the scenes. So they have a lot of skeletons. Now, the person that JD's lawyers is representing makes some very serious allegations too. And this is a person, by the way, that worked their way up all the way from secretary to the executive wing. They started out at 24 as a secretary. Years later, they end up again as an executive in the company. Now, what she describes is a quote-unquote freak show workplace where there were no rules and no boundaries whatsoever, and where debauchery was dictated from the very top, noting, quote, he'd been the greatest talent finder in the business, but he'd burned out. Now he wanted to play. He needed an entire entourage to help him function. He needed enablers, drug dealers, hookers, groupies, hangers-on, and yes, secretaries. She also notes all of the use there. She said his nightly use routine, it included 14 vodka tonics, 4 lines of coke, and 4 joints. This usually came after smoking several joints in the Atlantic bathroom and having a few drinks in the office during the day. And in Atlantic, blackmail was normal as breakfast, where there was a safe full of cash because they had to pay off all of the women there and make them sign secrecy agreements because of everything going on behind the scenes. Now, her legal complaint alleges that when she became an executive, terrible things, they happened to her. They happened while executives were watching, mind you, and they just sat and they laughed about it at all. And this included things like having her arm broken at a Skid Row concert. I mean, listen to this here. At another Skid Row concert where the band played badly, her boss, cocaine and booze fueling his rage, allegedly grabbed her arm, lifted it, and she says, smashed it down hard on the table. This is what you made me spend my bleeping money on, she says. He growled at her. In acute pain the next day, she says she went to see the doctor, who x-rayed her arm and found a hairline fracture. But instead of complaining, she says, I covered all of this up with long sleeves. Now, she alleges that in 1990, she finally had enough. So she approaches HR. She files a formal complaint about this, saying, quote, I'm tired of this juvenile behavior by all the men at Atlanta Records. It's a free-for-all in this place. Please let me know what you intend to do about it. She says that she found out the next day what they intended to do, and that was her being fired for questioning authority. Quote unquote, you leave me no choice. Now, on top of that, she says that they ruined her career. Warner Brothers Music Group, they decided to target her. They said that she was a troublemaker. She couldn't keep a job. She complained as more. Now, if you look at the behavior of Warner Brothers here, this seems to terrify them too. And I don't think it's just the allegations. I mean, they've stared down allegations before. I don't think it's just the lawyers either. Even though the lawyers were very successful for JD, their name, it would be brought up. They don't want that at all. But they may also have records that they don't want coming out. I mean, listen to this here. Quote, a shareholder activist in the music industry has evoked a little-known statute within Delaware's corporate law, hoping to require Warner Music Group to share any record it has related to certain types of misconduct allegations within the company. She had filed wanting access to any of these alleged misconducts here, and she's also requesting settlement agreements and non-disclosure agreements Warner entered alongside documents related to any potential investigations they have conducted over the years into these types of allegations. Now, you would think that the Team AH members closest to AH, they would be happy about this, right? I mean, after all, you have a female that is representing other females. They're not just listening and believing, by the way. They are being proactive. They are suing companies. And here you're taking on Hollywood. You're taking on potentially bankrupt corporations, but no, can't have that. Why? Because the female that is representing here was also JD's lawyer. And you know what? You can't have male victims, according to these folks. I mean, listen to what they say. They are so transparent in standing with Warner Brothers, essentially. Camille Vasquez was JD's lawyer in the United States. During the trial, she said that there were, quote-unquote, no Me Too. She was talking about the trial, by the way, saying that there were no actual claims here, and there weren't. I mean, the claims, they were made by JD. Those were the ones that had a finger missing and more. But 1 year later, and she's a hashtag Me Too champion in the music industry. She really is a feminist hero, and she is a hero to a lot of people because of what we saw. She also goes on to say, this was the day before, you can really tell what she's trying to say here. Camille Vasquez represented JD, a man she knew was found to be a wife, rhymes with Walmart greeter, by the High Court in England. You notice they always love to default to England, where you don't get to face your accuser, where you have the U.S. judge say that was not justice. But Camille Vasquez says, I believe in his innocence. Now she's rebranded herself as a champion of hashtag Me Too in the music industry. SMH in disbelief. They can't stand a female to come out that they don't like. One that might actually do something, change something for men and women. It's amazing, isn't it? Seeing these folks stand with Warner, especially considering Warner Brothers, they may have some real skeletons come out soon. But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff. And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you. Can't say that enough. If you want to help out the channel, by the way, links are in the description. But going to end here. I want to thank you again, and we will see you soon.